Something you long believed to be true but realized wasn't.
Well, as one of the main opponents of the Illuminati, I always wanted to know what information they had that we didn't.
Now, we finally have an update on the drowning death of Malcolm Jamal Warner. Now, according to ABC7, they stated that Malcolm Jamal Warner had drowned while he was on vacation in Costa Rica. Now, the article goes on to say that Warner had drowned off the coast of Costa Rica on Sunday.
Has been shouting it loud for years. If you don't follow Hollywood's rules, especially as a black man, they'll toss you to the side like you never mattered.
Life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be?
There is part of me that I will.
And looking back at Malcolm Jamal Warner's career, it starts to hit different. This man wasn't chasing clout. He wasn't out here begging for roles or acting wild for attention. In fact, he turned down gigs that made black men look goofy or weak. He refused to do the whole throw on a dress and act silly routine just to get camera time, and because of that, they benched him. Not because he lacked talent, he was sharp, educated, and knew his worth, but because he didn't play their game. And now that he's gone, everybody wants to throw around words like legend and underrated. Really? Where was that energy when he was still breathing, doing solid work without...
Be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
Because I've spent, so much of the early part of my life listening to, being celebrated on one hand, but paying way too much attention to the naysayers.
This ain't about wild conspiracy talk. This is about real patterns. Katt Williams has been calling this mess out forever, warning folks how the industry punishes anyone who dares to say no to the clown show. So now it's time to dive into what Katt's been exposing, what Malcolm actually stood for, and why everybody suddenly wants to give him his flowers after he's gone. Malcolm Jamal Warner, best known as Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show, tragically passed on July 20th, 2025. He was on a family vacation in Limon, Costa Rica, enjoying time in the ocean with his 8-year-old daughter when things took a scary turn.
The first things we saw when we pulled up to the beach, signs in Spanish and English warning people about potentially hazardous conditions. This sign even giving a roadmap for how to escape a rip current.
Freakin' Beach, where officials say a dangerous rip current swept away Malcolm Jamal Warner. The Cosby Show star drowning in secluded paradise on Sunday.
What makes that beach so treacherous?
It's similar to other beaches where there are strong rip currents that are deceiving.
Mike Geist helps run a volunteer lifeguard organization here. He says while no lifeguards were on duty that day, Geist's friend, who happens to be a trained lifeguard, was there to surf and discovered Warner unresponsive in the water. Costa Rica's Red Cross says they were able to rescue another man alive who was taken to a clinic in critical condition.
Jesse, officials say Warner's...
A powerful rip current pulled them both in. This beach is infamous for its dangerous waters and usually lacks lifeguards. That day, no lifeguards again. They had been pulled to other spots after recent accidents. Surfers nearby spotted them struggling. One managed to save his daughter. Another raced after Malcolm. By the time the first responders got there, it was too late. They couldn't bring Malcolm back. The man who tried to save him rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The official autopsy later confirmed it.
Autopsy is now complete.
It was completed this morning, according to authorities, Tom, and they say that it confirmed that Warner's drowning death was, in fact, an accident.
So even before conception, we were very clear we were having a girl. And I knew that I needed a girl first to kind of ease me into it because I have a pretty good idea of what kind of father I would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed a girl to kind of, slow me down and warm, soften me up, if you will. So for me, raising my daughter, I came into fatherhood already with a certain maturity, and certain understanding of male-female.
Malcolm died from asphyxia by submersion. It was a tragic accident. But that didn't make it hurt any less. His death hit different because Malcolm wasn't just another former child star. He was one of the rare ones who never lost himself. He stayed solid. He never sold out, never spiraled out, never embarrassed himself or his people just for fame. This man was the real deal. Malcolm was a self-made multimillionaire, an Emmy-nominated actor, a Grammy-winning musician, a poet, a respected director, a quiet but powerful activist. He was also a family man, married once, no scandals, no secret kids, no drama. He raised his daughter with love and pride and stayed faithful to the people who mattered most. That's rare in Hollywood. He was respected by pretty much everyone who worked with him.
Dynamics, and with a girl, all of that starts with the father. So I've always, since I literally pulled her out of my wife.
Make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Malcolm was a blueprint for how a grown man should carry himself with dignity. Then boom, gone in a freak accident. After 54 years of good health, while living it up in paradise with his family. The only tragedy in his life was that it ended too soon. But he lived right. He won at life. Still, we gotta talk about how Hollywood ghosted this man while he was alive. And how everything Katt Williams has been warning about is now right in our faces. Let's be real. Malcolm didn't fall off. He just refused to play that twisted Hollywood game. After the Cosby Show, he could have chased fame. He had the looks, the skills, the resume. But instead, he kept it real. No buffoon roles, no over-the-top sitcoms, no dresses, no fake accents, no clown moves. He said, nah, to all the nonsense that makes black men look like jokes.
End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us. There has never been a person that has been parodied 9 times on Saturday Night Live and yet never been invited other than me. I, at this point, take it as a badge of honor that they don't fuck with me. A lot of times when people are doing an impression of you, they're really showing you how they feel about you. You know what I mean? So for Saturday Night Live to have an impression of me and have a woman do that means they think I'm a bitch. And I understand that that's what they're saying.
And this is where Katt Williams steps in. He's been yelling about this for years. On stage, in interviews, on podcasts. Katt Williams turned down those same clown roles. Loud, over-the-top, suit-wearing nonsense. And guess what they called him? Difficult. Crazy. Unreliable. All because he wouldn't play along. Same story with Malcolm. He was smart, disciplined, and talented as hell. But because he wouldn't act like a caricature on camera, Hollywood kept him benched.
Say it when they do that. I understand how the game goes, and I understand that if you love me, I know why you do. And if you don't with me, I understand why.
For the title is combating the narrative of.
But here's the thing. Malcolm didn't need their spotlight. He was thriving without their approval. He launched his own podcast, Not All Hood, where he straight up called out how Hollywood and the media love to treat black folks like one giant stereotype. Instead of bowing down, Malcolm chose projects that mattered. He put his energy into stories about education, justice, and history. He produced and starred in plays and documentaries focused on black culture, real struggles, and systemic racism. He wasn't chasing flashy roles, he was building something real. In 2021, he dropped an op-ed for the Television Academy, and it was sharp. Malcolm broke it all the way down, saying straight up that white executives, white writers, and white directors still hold the keys when it comes to how black people are shown on screen. He wrote, "During the cycles where the gate hinges loosen lightly and black creatives are given some input and illusion of control, the stereotypes often continue, even if the black characters have fancy jobs or
of black life, black culture that the media focuses on. And, you know,
that we're all one thing.
Yeah, and the whole concept is, you know, we're not all hood. The black community is not a monolith. It should be a moratorium on both of those words in hip hop because it's low-lying fruit. It's so easy. Everybody fucking does it to the point that it's corny. Like there are MCs who I love, who I cannot listen to anymore because I love J. Cole, but I had to stop listening to J. Cole because I got tired of hearing nigga and bitch.
As much as
That wasn't all. Malcolm also went after the state of modern rap and hip-hop. He didn't bite his tongue either. He called out the toxic masculinity, the misogyny, and all the harmful messages getting pushed for clicks and streams. He demanded better from the industry and the community. And remember that Kendrick versus Drake battle that took over the internet last year? Malcolm spoke on it. He said hip-hop only seems to make noise when it's pushing negativity, and that ain't by accident.
Because he's proven himself to be such a incredible lyricist.
that you think it's just too low-hanging fruit for him to use those words.
I feel like
Drake beef, which, you know, they talk about how much they hate each other and give all these references to violence and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, even though we enjoy those songs and they're bops, do you think that has a detrimental impact upon the culture ultimately?
Ultimately, yes. It's been normalized for, you know, us to call ourselves the N-word, right? And we like to talk about how we've taken the power of that word back. But I'm of the school of thought. If I'm trying to speak love and upliftment to my brother, why am I going to borrow a word from people who use the word because they hate me? But we get caught up in, oh, well, we're turning the N-word into a positive. But our music is not reflecting positivity, love, and upliftment of our culture. And we're at a point now where so much of our, especially our music, so much of our Black music, when you strip away the music and just listen to the lyrics, so much of our Black music is really anti-Black.
Oh, you think so?
When you think about it, think of, you know, I mean, you almost cannot have hip hop without talking about drugs, using the N-word, and murking somebody.
Right.
You know, or calling a female, you know, a bitch or a hoe. Like that's become...
He was pushing for accountability and healing, not just hype. So when Katt Williams talks about the industry only boosting you up when they control the storyline, this right here is exactly what he means. Malcolm was trying to show the world that Black men are intelligent, complex, and real. Not some goofy one-liner machines, but folks wanted him stuck in that old teen heartthrob box or playing the clowny best friend. He wasn't having it. He said no to roles that could have made him way more famous, but way less respected. And while Malcolm held his ground, other actors in his era were blowing up by doing the exact opposite, leaning into tired stereotypes, chasing the money, and playing the industry's game. Some of them made it work, sure. But that wasn't Malcolm's route. He stayed true to his lane, and it came with a price. In interviews, he even hinted that his own team told him he was too serious or not marketable enough. Translation? You're too Black, too deep, too real. And just like that, the calls stopped. No roles, no invites. And that lines up perfectly with what Katt Williams has been warning about. If you don't play the fool and go through their humiliation ritual, they erase you like you were never here. But now that Malcolm's gone, suddenly he's everywhere. The same Hollywood that overlooked him is now flooding the feeds with love. Social media posts, tearful tributes.
We've normalized that so much that I think we need a space where we can say, wait a minute, that's not all who we are.
Care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work.
Yeah.
And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that.
Big name celebs sharing old memories, networks hyping up documentaries, streaming platforms digging up old projects with his name on them. Like he's the new safe black hero. But let's be real. Where was all this when he was breathing? When he was standing tall and doing meaningful work on his terms? Because Malcolm didn't play the fame game or fall for the usual Hollywood traps, they kept him off the main stage. Award shows barely acknowledged him. The industry left him in the background. Now that he's no longer here to speak for himself, they're flipping his image for clout, PR buzz, and woke branding. Katt Williams been calling this out. The system only celebrates black talent once they're silent, once they can be repackaged and used without resistance. So now the real question is, are we finally seeing genuine respect for Malcolm, or is this just another Hollywood cleanup job after the damage is done? Because let's keep it real. Malcolm's refusal to sell out made him a target, not a superstar. He didn't chase fame, he didn't compromise. And in an industry that rewards fakery, that made him easy to ignore. Malcolm Jamal Warner wasn't just another face on TV. He was one of the few who stayed solid, grounded, intentional. He chose purpose over popularity, and Hollywood let him fade into the shadows until it was too late. His death isn't just sad, it's a warning. A harsh reminder that moving with integrity in this business comes at a cost. But now we want to hear your voice. Do you think Malcolm got pushed out because he wouldn't play the game? And why does it always take someone dying for the industry to finally show love? Let us know in the comments. Drop your thoughts, theories, or anything you feel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.